Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and in the next 30 minutes, I'll be getting you the top stories from India and across the world, and also the latest from Rajya Sabha. But first, let's get you the headlines. Mines and Minerals Bill stuck in the upper house as the opposition demands more time to discuss the legislation. Left parties demand that it be sent back to the Select Committee. Amid massive opposition to the land acquisition bill, the government reaches out, inviting the Congress to an open debate on the legislation. Indians across the world celebrate as Dhoni's team trounces Bangladesh in the World Cup quarter-finals. Will now meet Australia or Pakistan at the semi-finals. Protests demanding CBI probe on IS officer D.K. Ravikumar turn violent. Home Minister hints he's ready to bring in the CBI if the state government agrees to it. And after the armed attack in Tunis that killed 19 people, Tunisia says it is a country at war with terror. Manhunt is on for the killers' accomplices. Our top story, Rajya Sabha today began discussing the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2015, and as expected, it was not all smooth sailing for the government. While tabling the bill, Minister Narendra Tomar urged that the bill be passed without discussion, but opposition parties did not consent. Congress members said it was important to consult the states as the bill directly affected them. Left parties also demanded that since the Select Committee did not get enough time to study the bill, it should be returned to the committee. Amidst uproar, the House was adjourned more than once. In fact, the House has now been adjourned for the day. But let's find out more about what implications this could have. We've got Mr. Shekhar Iyer, who's the political editor with the Deccan Herald, joining us in studio today. Good evening, sir. Just give us a sense, really, at this point of time, of what the government is staring at as far as this particular bill is concerned.
Well, I think government has to race against that April 5th deadline, by which time the ordinance will have to be replaced by passage of the bill. And that is why when the government agreed for this both the Mines and Minerals Bill as well as the Coal Bill to go to the Select Committee, it had, somehow managed to get a deadline that the report would be submitted on March the 18th, which it was done. Now, there were dissenting reports in the both, so the government was keen that the bills were taken up this evening and they were passed.
Yes.
But what we saw today was particularly the Congress, which had actually dissented, because we saw in the bill concerning this Mines and Minerals, the Congress as well as the left had given dissenting notes. But we saw the left wanting to reopen the whole issue in the House, saying that, the matter has to again go back to the Select Committee.
Yes. Because
the manner in which the Select report the Select Committee report came, it just had the dissenting notes and the majority report. So what we are seeing is both the left and the Congress are in fact some kind of a coordination in where they are not willing to allow the passage of the bill, which would mean if the bill is not passed before April 15th, the ordinance would lapse and the government will have to re-promulgate, which would mean, you'll have to go through the process of, proroguing the House, and there's a lot of complications. Whereas the government is keen, at least these two bills are cleared first.
Absolutely. Talking about really that delay that could perhaps take place, the government is obviously going to be trying to make sure that at least by tomorrow some things get settled down. But just talking about the role of the opposition, especially the Congress, could we call it a bit irresponsible? They are going against pretty much every bill, every kind of amendment that the government is coming out with. They are showing an invigorated face, definitely. But could this be also irresponsible in some way?
Well, Congress, I think, at least in the case of the left parties, they have a particular ideological position. Whether it comes the Coal Bill or this bill, because they feel that the state should have a bigger role. Now, when it comes to the Congress, Congress doesn't want to be seen actually voting against these bills, because it's also a party which believes in bringing changes, bringing reforms, bringing ways in which things can be done better. But on the floor. That's why today when we saw the deputy chairman was very keen to give his ruling on the objections raised, we saw actually the Congress members coming into the world to disrupt the proceeding, which is the Congress does not want to appear to be actually voting against these legislations, because that would appear going against what their own leader, particularly the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and other senior leaders have always held in the previous government, because these legislations are the result of what the UPA government had wanted to do, and subsequently, and this particular bill, which today the Congress is arguing that this is against the states, states. So we saw a lot of hair splitting the last few hours in the Rajya Sabha, where they were trying to use some rule or procedure, and with the government side represented by the leader of the House, Arun Jaitley, also trying to explain this rule contradicts that rule. Too much of hair splitting actually. But I think the basic thing which the Congress wants to convey is, with the numbers not on the government side, it's not going to let things go so easily.
Go so smoothly. Yes, in fact, talking about House proceedings, Vishal Dahiya, our correspondent, was tracking all those developments in Parliament, joining us now from there. Vishal, for the moment, of course, the House has been adjourned for the day. But give us a sense, really, what you're getting from Parliament, and also, if you've been able to get any kind of reactions from the government.
Well, Tracy, there are two things which are pretty much clear out here. If you look at the amendment which has been moved by P. Rajiv, the CPI member, on which there was that hair splitting which was going on for the last one and a half hour in the upper house, and the dissenting notes which were moved by certain members in the select committee report. Now, there is a common ground in that, and the common ground is that the states and their representatives, specifically those states wherein all these mines through which the minerals are to be taken out, those particular states have not been taken on board by the select committee. They were not included in that discussion. That is where this commonality between the Congress and the left parties come. They say that the basic thing which has not been taken care of in the select committee proceedings was that the stakeholders, and by stakeholders they mean out here those states and their representatives, as well as several labor unions as well. That's what the left parties are insisting upon. They were not taken on board. That's why this select committee report cannot be taken as a holistic view of what exactly should be done with these bills. And that is why an argument to send it back to the select committee. That's what was being argued and discussed for the past 1.5 to 2 hours in the upper house. What has happened is that the bill that the House has been adjourned now, but an agreement, sort of an informal agreement which has been reached between the government and the opposition, is that the entire business will be taken up tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. The 0 hour will be dispensed with. 11 a.m. sharp tomorrow morning, the Mines and Minerals Bill, which has been left pending right now, will be taken up, and a ruling which has been pending from the chair on the amendment which was moved by P. Rajiv will also be given at 11 a.m. So picture will be clear at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning as to what exactly is going to happen to that particular bill. And then in a similar fashion, the coal bill will also be taken up at 2:30, because the objections are almost similar on the coal bill as well, and the stand of Congress party is also pretty similar to what their stand is on the mines bill as well. The government has made it clear, though, that if at all the bills are not clear, then the government might be forced to go ahead and extend the duration of the session, something which both the Congress and the left parties would not like to, are rather averse to as of now. So obviously it's going, though it is technically the last day of the first half of the budget session tomorrow, but then it's going to be the most important day of this particular session, and we will have to keep a close watch as to what exactly might transpire, because it's going to be really a developing story wherein decisions will be taken on both sides as and when and how the things proceed on the floor of the House.
We'll come back to you then, Vishal Dahiya, for more details on that. Thanks so much for joining us for the moment and talking about that stiff opposition. The government, of course, was facing it from the very beginning on the land bill. The government, in fact, today bowing a bit under pressure. Today, in fact, reaching out to the leaders of opposition parties, including Congress President Sonia Gandhi and activist Anna Hazare. Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari, in fact, wrote a letter to those opposing the bill, inviting them to an open debate on the issue. The bill is awaiting clearance in the Rajya Sabha.
From the government representative, we are ready to discuss with them, and it is my request to them that the government is ready for discussion. Let there be an open discussion on all issues related to the land acquisition.
The government finally bending down to opposition pressure and seemingly ready for reconciliation. As the land bill awaits clearance from Rajya Sabha, the government has reached out to the opposition. In the letter to opposition leaders, Gadkari has said the government was willing to debate all aspects of the bill.
The present land acquisition bill with amendment is in the interest of the farmers. It will definitely create more employment potential. It is all in the interest of the farmers and the rural economy and agriculture economy. So some of the political party, they want to politicalize the issue and they want to establish that Narendra Modi ji and present our government is against farmer. But this is the ground reality versus the perception.
Earlier this week, Congress had led a united and aggressive opposition in blocking the bill's passage in the upper house and also submitted a memorandum to President Pranab Mukherjee. Congress President Sonia Gandhi had also written a letter to Anna Hazare vowing not to let the bill pass. Opposition has termed the bill anti-farmer.
We are certainly ready to debate the land acquisition bill. After all, this is a bill that was passed just a year and a half ago with the active participation of every single party in the parliament, including the BJP, which voted as part of the unanimous adoption of this bill. Now, 1.5 years later, they say that they have to bring in so many amendments which remove the heart and soul of this bill.
Sources say Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asked Gadkari to work with all parties to gain consensus on the controversial bill. The government is in minority in the upper house of parliament and for this reason it will be difficult for them to get the bill passed unless everybody is on board. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Shekhar Iyer, political editor with the Deccan Herald, still with us here. Mr. Iyer, just give us a sense really on the government's play at this point of time, their strategy going in. Let's please all the opposition as possible and just get this bill passed.
Yeah, because at least the Congress position is very clear. They are not going to support any of the amendments and any suggestions. That's very clear because even Sonia Gandhi has written to Anna Hazare the other day saying that that the Gandhian activists can count on the Congress party to oppose this bill. But the government is hoping that it will be able to get the support of at least other parties. Particularly, it's looking at Trinamool Congress, it's looking at Biju Janata Dal. So what we are seeing is, without the numbers in the upper house, the government has to somehow see that the opposition to the bill is just limited to the Congress and the left. The same thing we saw in the case of what they are doing in the case of Congress, the coal bill and the mines and minerals bill. So, but again, the problem here is, with a little window left, rather little time left, there is no way where the land bill can be taken up immediately. So the government's priority, as it seems, is to first get these two bills, particularly the minerals and mines and minerals bill and the coal bill, because there is not much of a difference, and the Congress probably is not as opposed to passage of these bills as in the case of land bill.
We'll see how tomorrow.
We may see a strategy where probably the land acquisition bill could be put off to the next session, and the whole thing, the ordinance is repromulgated.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, the government gets into more of a dialogue process.
Yeah, let's see how tomorrow goes. Thank you so much, Shekhar Iyer, for joining us and giving us a perspective into really what's going on there with the government and in the parliament as well. A quick break here. We'll be back with more news in just a bit. Stay with us.
Political focus on the middle class giving way now to concern about farmers. What's behind this change? What does it mean for the nation? Watch The Big Picture, 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. In fact, getting you some more news now, and that coming in from Rajya Sabha. The plight of farmers, in fact, hit by unseasonal rains came up today, with members cutting across political lines seeking immediate financial assistance for affected farmers. The members also voiced concerns about the rising cases of farmer suicides. The government has promised to take all measures to help farmers in distress.
Acknowledging the unanimous concern of the House on farmers' plight, Leader of the House Arun Jaitley assured members of compassionate and prompt action to provide relief to distraught farmers. He informed the House that the Agriculture Minister has constituted separate teams for each state to assess the loss.
कृषि विभाग ने हर राज्य के लिए अलग-अलग टीम गठित कर दी है और आज से कृषि विभाग के जो तीनों मंत्री हैं वो स्वयं भी इन राज्यों के दौरे के ऊपर जा रहे हैं।
Jaitley's assurance came after all political parties spoke in one voice, demanding fair compensation for farmers. JDU's K.C. Tyagi initiated the discussion. He pointed out that even though losses incurred amounted to 22,000 crore rupees, insurance companies had put the figure at just 1,000 crore rupees. BSP leader Mayawati complained that the amendments in the land acquisition bill were adding insult to injury.
आज तक केंद्र सरकार का एक मंत्री, किसी सूबे का मुख्यमंत्री किसानों के पास जाकर के ये नहीं पूछ पाया कि तुम्हारा नुकसान क्या हुआ है।
भूमि अधिग्रहण संशोधन विधेयक है जो लोकसभा में पास हो चुका है, राज्यसभा में अभी नहीं हुआ है, तो यहाँ पर इसको हाउस में लाने से पहले इसको वापस ले लिया जाए और सन 2013 का जो भूमि अधिग्रहण विधेयक है उसको ही स्वीकार कर लिया जाए।
Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad demanded fair assessment of the crop loss and said that the distribution of compensation should be corruption-free and fair. Several other leaders wanted loan waiver for affected farmers.
एक तो असेसमेंट जो करना है मुआवजे के लिए वो बड़ी फेयर होनी चाहिए। हमेशा शिकायत आती है मुआवजे के बारे में, कुछ लोग छूट जाते हैं और कुछ लोग को मुआवजा मिलता, और फिर उसके बाद फेयर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन भी होनी चाहिए। फिर वो जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो मुआवजे की वो करप्शन फ्री होनी चाहिए।
स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की लिमिटेशंस है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को यहाँ से मदद करने की आवश्यकता है। दूसरी, ऑल टाइप ऑफ रिकवरी जो है वो सस्पेंड करनी चाहिए और ख़ास तौर पर क्रॉप लोन वेव करने की आवश्यकता है।
पहले तो आत्महत्या करते थे किसान, लेकिन अब की बार पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि खेत पर जाकर किसान को इतना ज़बरदस्त शौक लगा है कि कई किसानों की हार्ट फेल होने से, अपनी फसल को देखने से जो धक्का लगा, हार्ट फेल होने से उनकी मौत हुई है।
Heavy unseasonal rains across large parts of India have inflicted a heavy blow on farmers. Several hectares of standing crops have been destroyed. While the loss has not yet been assessed, wheat, mustard, pulses, vegetables and fruits are believed to be the worst affected. The losses have led to rising cases of farmer suicides. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
But changing tracks now, India is through to the semi-final of the 2015 ICC World Cup. Dhoni's team ended Bangladesh's decent run at this edition of the tournament, winning by a comfortable 109 runs and keeping up India's 100% win record this time.
A tame enough capitulation by Bangladesh in the end, 193 all out, with a 303-run target set by India nowhere in sight. And needless to say, celebrations across India and for Indians around the world weren't far behind. Team India has won all 7 of its matches at the 2015 World Cup so far, something fans hope the team will carry into the semis.
I love the match. I can't explain the feelings. We are very happy.
बहुत ही ज़्यादा प्राउड फील कर रहा हूँ कि मैं इंडियन हूँ और इंडिया ने एक भी मैच नहीं हारा और सारे मैच कंटेस्टेंट जीत के आई है, और मैं होप रखता हूं कि आगे भी हम इंडिया सारे मैच जीतते आएंगे।
इंडिया ने आज छक्के उड़ा दिए, ऑल आउट कर दिया, मजा आ गया देखने में।
Lovely straight drive. India got off to a slow start after winning the toss and choosing to bat. Rohit Sharma's 137, helped first by Shikhar Dhawan and later Suresh Raina's 65, took India to 302 for 6 in their quota of 50 overs.
Game-changing innings this.
Bangladesh, chasing 303, got off to a poor start, losing their first wicket at 33. Wickets continued to fall at regular intervals, and though Mushfiqur, Sabir Rahman and Nasir Hussain tried to put up a fight, they could offer little against the strong Indian attack.
From the Bangladesh batsman, confusion, and then what about the fielding and the throw? Just absolute.
Umesh Yadav got 4 wickets, Shami and Jadeja bagged 2 each. Rohit Sharma was named man of the match.
When you have won the game, you tend to brush everything under the carpet, but what's important is to still keep improving in those areas. So whatever we have not done right in this game, we'll like to do it properly in the next one, and that's what it's all about. It's nothing like a magic wand where you just wave it and it comes in your favor.
Pakistan, South Africa, West Indies, all the big guns have fallen to India in the league matches. The knockout stage comes with a do-or-die challenge. Bangladesh, it must be said, have put up a decent show, thoroughly shedding the minnows tag. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his congratulations. The President commended the spirit of sportsmanship in which the game was played. For the fans, it's all eyes now on the Australia-Pakistan quarter-final on Friday. The winner of this match will play India in the semi-finals on the 26th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
But back home, a third day of protests demanding a CBI probe into IS officer D.K. Ravikumar's death turned violent today, with the centre even showing signs of agreeing to a CBI probe. Protesting groups, including students and political groups, clashed with police in Bengaluru and Tumakuru. Here's a report.
BJP youth wing workers blocked the national highway and forced a bandh in Tumakuru, Ravikumar's hometown. They even clashed with police, who used batons against them. Students of the Agricultural University in Bengaluru, where Ravi graduated in agriculture, also marched in protest, raising a call for what they called justice.
We don't have faith in CID or COD because it comes under state government only. Actually, Karnataka state government wished to curb this case as a suicide.
BJP and JDS MLAs continue their dharna in front of the Mahatma Gandhi statue near the Vidhan Sauda and marched to the governor's house. The assembly had to be adjourned till Monday following the ruckus inside the house, all stepping up pressure on the state government to hand over the case to the CBI as distinct from a state government-controlled CID probe.
Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is not ready to hand over to CBI. That means he is not fair enough to give justice to anybody.
The issue even resounded in Parliament at the centre, with the Home Minister hinting he is ready to transfer the case to the CBI if the Siddaramaiah government in the state recommends it.
यदि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट चाहती है कि इसकी सीबीआई जांच हो, तो जो ही स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की रिकमेंडेशन सीबीआई जांच के लिए प्राप्त होगी, तो मैं समझता हूं कि केंद्र सरकार सीबीआई जांच कराने को पूरी तरह से तैयार है.
Ravi Kumar's colleagues in the IAS have started a signature campaign to petition Prime Minister Narendra Modi to order a CBI investigation. They too reject the suicide theory. Kumar, who earned a reputation as an upright officer, had recently taken over as Joint Commissioner of Commercial Taxes. He'd also taken on the Sand Mafia as Deputy Commissioner of Kolar District. Many of the real estate companies he'd pursued are owned or linked to state ministers. But the Congress in Karnataka and in the centre remains adamant that a state CID probe is perfectly capable of handling the case.
The Karnataka government, in its wisdom, would do everything possible to ensure that the truth and in its complete entirety comes out. So everyone should await the outcome of the investigations.
The issue marks the latest tussle over a man the opposition calls a whistleblower and their tug of war with the party in power. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
The Supreme Court today referred the fund embezzlement case involving Teesta Setalvad and her husband to a larger bench. Teesta and her husband, Javed Anand, had filed a petition in the Supreme Court seeking anticipatory bail in the case that relates to the embezzlement of funds for a museum at Ahmedabad's Gulbarg Society. The society had been devastated in the 2002 riots. The top court, however, extended the interim order providing protection from arrest to the couple till the larger bench takes up the matter. And now let's get you more news from across the country and nationwide. The Indian Railways will soon set up a special council to enhance services, and it will be headed by industrialist Ratan Tata. Representatives of the Railway Union will also be part of the council to increase the participation of railway employees. The council has been named the Kaya Kalp Council. Lawyers of all 6 district courts in Delhi staged a protest outside the House of Law Minister D.V. Sadanand Gowda today. They demanded immediate enhancement of the pecuniary jurisdiction of lower courts from 20 lakhs to 2 crore rupees. A meeting of all district bar associations is likely to be convened at the Patiala House Courts complex after the protest is over. The world's first solar-powered plane, Solar Impulse 2, took off for Myanmar from Varanasi today. The Swiss-built plane is en route to Mandalay in Myanmar after its week-long stopover in India. The Solar Impulse 2 is currently in the fourth leg of its 35,000-kilometer journey around the globe. Incessant rains triggered landslides that have shut the crucial Doda-Kishtwar highway in Jammu and Kashmir. The highway was closed for vehicular traffic after large stretches of the road were damaged. Many vehicles were reportedly stranded on the highway. Earth movers were also called in to clear the debris. The state has been experiencing heavy rainfall and snowfall for the last few days, resulting in landslides at several places. In a major mishap in Andhra Pradesh's Kurnool district, a lorry carrying 450 LPG cylinders caught fire, leading to explosions in about 60 cylinders. The incident took place in a village on National Highway 44. Police officials, though, said that no one was injured in the incident. International news in Tunisia today arrested 4 people in connection with the museum terror attack on Wednesday. 19 people were killed in the attack. 5 other suspects have also been detained. The Tunisian president said that security has been stepped up in major cities following the attack. Voices condemning the attack have come in from around the globe, with Tunisia saying that it is at war with terror.
4 people have been arrested in connection with the deadly attack at a museum adjoining the Tunisian parliament. 5 others have been detained. The president's office said in a statement that 4 arrested are suspected to be directly linked to Wednesday's attack. The 2 killed gunmen have also been identified, names recognized by Tunisian security as known anti-national elements. It is still not clear if they are affiliated to international terror groups. Tunisian president said that the country is in war with terror. He has also deployed army troops to major cities, stepping up security.
في العمل بتاعه أصبح داخل المدينة وأصبح يرمز ويرمي إلى رموز الدولة.
العملية الإرهابية أعطيكم بسطة على الوضع النهائي باستثناء ممكن في عدد القتلى.
The international community expressed strong condemnation. The UN Secretary General called it a deplorable act. At the same time, the UN Security Council issued a statement saying no terrorist action could reverse Tunisia's path towards democracy. Tunisia is considered as the only success story of the Arab Spring. But after Wednesday's bloody attack, there is concern about the country's future as a democracy.
The Secretary-General condemns in the strongest terms today's attack against the Bardo Museum in central Tunis and deplores the loss of life. He conveys his deepest condolences to the families of the victims of this deplorable act.
Hundreds of Tunisians gathered in the central Tunis for a candlelight vigil for the victims. Of the 17 tourists killed, only 2 were locals. 5 Japanese nationals and 4 Italians besides other foreigners were killed, underscoring once again that terror sees no boundaries. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you more international news and updates in Global Buzz. The Islamabad High Court has formed a review board to hear the detention plea of Mumbai attack mastermind Zakir Rahman Lakhvi. His lawyer argued that the government has no legal ground to detain his client. The 3-member review board will hear Lakhvi's plea tomorrow. Lakhvi continues to stay in jail after the Pakistan government extended the detention order by another 30 days. At least 2 people were killed and over 15 injured in a shooting in a restaurant in Sweden late on Wednesday. Swedish police officials said that the shooting could have been gang-related. Armed men barged into the restaurant and opened fire as customers were watching a football match. The gunmen are believed to have fled. Police forces have sealed off the area and a murder investigation is underway. Thailand's Supreme Court has ordered former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra to stand trial for negligence over a controversial rice subsidy scheme. If found guilty, she could face up to 10 years in prison. Yingluck has already been banned from politics for 5 years after her government was ousted before the military took control in a coup in May 2014. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. But before we leave, here are some spectacular time-lapse images of the aurora australis captured in New Zealand's Christchurch.